Hello once again, Twitch. Let me finish sending out the notifications and invites on social media. See if we can get a few folks in here. I see we got a couple already. Thank you. Welcome. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys had a good Labor Day. It was pretty eventful and busy for me. I had a page from a new project I'm working on that I had to get done, and then we were dropping my daughter off out of my parents and my dog because we had a bunch of construction workers here in the house today doing a bunch of work, and my dog would try to eat them. So it was it was prudent for us to go drop them off and avoid any potential issues. But glad you're here. Uh, as you probably may have saw on either the notification of going live on social media or in your inbox. Uh, I've got a lot of different pieces I need to get done. Uh, Currently, I don't really have any real priority on any piece more than any other. Uh, they just all got to get done eventually. All the pressing stuff is either currently done or I'm waiting on the next round. So, but yeah, send out the newsletter today, updating everybody on the Kickstarter, which is coming on September 21st for issue 4 of my Savage Sasquatch comic. Really looking forward to getting this one out. It's been one of the earliest ideas I had for the story, and it's a really cool issue, very complicated visually, and my artist Gabe Santos just really went to town and working on 3 right now. Really. Which question was that? I don't even remember. It's been a long day. Oh, the one for how does everybody do it? Yeah, okay, I got you. I got you. I'm a little slow sometimes. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that and just juggling it all between trying to get Sasquatch done, trying to get Graveyard Orbit done, and just get everything figured out. And yeah, it's just juggling to try and time is always my biggest enemy. Every, there's never enough time to do everything I want to do. So you know, and part of it is when I do these multiple projects, keeping it straight. That's one of my big things where just trying to keep the details straight and not have to waste so much time rereading what I've already come up with because I may get 20 minutes like, oh man, I got 20 minutes before something comes up or whatever because it's just arbitrary, especially like right now when I'm waiting on the next freelance page to come in, which is will be my priority. You know, was like, okay, well, I got this bit done over here. I got this bit. It's like, now I got some time to write. I don't know how long it'd be. It could be 10 minutes. It could be 25 minutes. It could be all day. And it was one of those where, especially if it's a shorter amount of time, I'll end up wasting the whole time just rereading what I was originally wrote, just so it'd be in preparation of where to figure out where to go with the story, where I was trying to go. And I lose all that time rereading and then have to go work on whatever else I have to do that's pressing. And then by the time I'm able to revisit and start writing it, it could be weeks or months later, and I've got to reread it again and lose more time. So yeah, I need to figure out a more streamlined system to try and keep my story details in quick quick review mode, which I don't know how to do that yet. But yeah. Oh man, that stinks. Yeah, I don't have that problem. Fortunate even still, like, there's a couple Kickstarters, one that I backed years ago, and it's beyond late, but the dude's been working on it, and it's fine. Like, I wasn't too worried about it, but he's printing in China. It's this real big, nice art book and stuff, and just to get his physical proof print copy just to review, because it's this huge thing. He's making it so he got a physical proof. So for whatever reason, it took him like 3 months just to print and send him the proof for him to look at. It's ridiculous, and it's just like there's no real excuse for that, even in the pandemic. I mean, because they airshipped it, so I mean, it came pretty quick once they did it. It just took them months to do it. So I'm very glad I'm not printing overseas. My books are currently and hopefully for however long I can are printed here in the States, and it's I'm literally getting the same price, if not even a better price than I am from shipping overseas. So yeah, no, I'm very fortunate to not have to worry about books getting stuck somewhere and not able to fulfill the Kickstarter. Dude, you that would freaking kill me. That would probably give me a heart attack if I had people's money from the Kickstarter and just books sitting in limbo. Man, I do not envy that dude's position. Ooh, knowing me, that would drive me to the edge. Let's not have that. But anyway, like I said, got a whole bunch of awesome stuff to work on. What do you guys want me to work on? Obviously, we got this cool Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars, Clone Wars, Rebels. Uh, she became one of my favorite characters in like Star Wars, just period. So kill count covered, dude. I don't have kill count covered. Talk to Jim, man. He teased a little bit more. He's like coming soon. I still don't have it. So that would probably be what I work on if I had it. Yeah, right now there's no real freelance work, just these commission pieces that are all like working with the artists and whatnot. And then I mean I can also work on issue 5 of Sasquatch. So I mean there's that option too. I mean I've got issue 5, uh, you know, so I mean we can start on page 1 of issue 5 if that's your preference. So you guys chime in. I'll show you what all I've got to do. So like I said, we can do Sasquatch. You can see, no spoilers. Flats are laid. It's ready to get colored. Uh, but like I said, there's this Ahsoka Tano piece that I can do. There's just got this, and I only have flats on it, so it's Cammy and Chun Li. You know, got Cammy over here, Chun Li, kind of like a UFC versus match. Oh, dude, those weren't spoilers. Like that's even in the description. Like that's all stuff you're gonna see on the Kickstarter. Like I'm not. That's in the first. what was in the newsletter, that was actually pages 3 and 4. So, I mean, it's not really spoilers, it's early on. And then there's Trunks, from Dragon Ball Z we can work on. We got this Final Fantasy Team Avalanche piece. These last couple pieces are all drawn by Vikin Marion, as well as this one. That's my personal favorite Green Lantern, John Stewart. Uh, yeah, you missed out earlier. I actually colored like I think about 85% of issue 4 all live on Twitch. So I mean, it spoilers may or may not. I kept the really spoilery stuff off. Like I didn't do the really spoilery things on Twitch, but yeah, most of the issue I did on Twitch. So you know, I figure it's probably pretty cool for people to see the comic that they order come to life. We got this Hulk piece by Ace Continuato I can work on. We also got this Harley Quinn piece by Ace Continuato. We got a Lady of the Lake, Not Safe for Work by Jordan Gunderson. And I got a Psylocke Phoenix Force uh, by Jordan Gunderson also. Got a I don't know if anybody remembers this character besides me, Sleepwalker from Marvel Comics. I liked Sleepwalker. He's one of those Lady of the Lake. I got one vote for Lady of the Lake. And we got a Fathom piece by my buddy Giuseppe Cafaro. You already voted once. You can't vote twice. It only counts as one. I the which the Lady of the Lake. I think it's just Lady of the Lake. It's not really indicative of Witcher or Excalibur or what is it? Cursed, the new one. It's just Lady in the Lake. And, well, yeah, you guys tell me. What do you guys want me to work on? I'm kind of good. The last one was Amanda's vote. The Fathom Commission. Oh, I got you. She voted for Lady of Lake, and you voted for Lady of Lake. I got you. Tell her to log in and vote because I don't know if she's there. That's cheating. Next thing you're gonna tell me your boy's voting for it too. So, oh well, we got one, potentially two votes for Lady of the Lake. Anybody else? Any other takers? I was kind of looking forward to doing some Ahsoka myself, but I can do Lady of the Lake. That's fine. This will be a cool one. I think this will be cool in the end. Little Trunks. I like Trunks. I think I actually wrapped up that Fantastic Four piece I was working on last week. I got it wrapped up earlier today for the most part. Of course, it's not there. Hold on, I'll open it. Anybody else voting beyond outside of Lady of the Lake? Or, that's my. All right, we got me. Okay, I guess we'll do Lady of the Lake then. So there's the Fantastic Four I worked on the last couple streams, off and on. So it came out all right. So it came out all right. But anyway, I guess we can stop jacking around now. No Ahsoka. I was kind of hoping for Ahsoka myself, but that's all right. Lady of the Lake. I haven't figured out what I want to do with this piece yet. So I guess just for the sake of buying myself time to figure it out, I'll probably just start with flats, which honestly I had initially planned. I was probably just start painting, but I don't know what I want to do, so I'll walk you guys through flatting just because uh, maybe it'll buy me a little time. So, like I said, black and white piece, pencils. So I work with channels personally, so I'll select the whole canvas and I'll just cut it, and I'll make a new channel and paste the lines in that channel. And I'll just come back to my RGB channel. That's where I'm working. You see, there's nothing on this layer off in the background. Maybe I was thinking I probably see. I'm thinking I'm probably go pretty foggy. I don't know. I don't know. Foggy, moody. I don't know. Maybe some Monet esque water lily style colors or something. I don't know. We'll see. Merlin in the background. Maybe I'll do Tim the Enchanter from Holy Grail with his antler helmet. So like I said, I think maybe go. That's a little muddy. Probably skew more blue. Have it kind of fade into the water a little bit, but so like I said, background's full color. Lines are on a channel. The main thing with laying flats is you want to make sure your anti-alias is off. You see up in this top area, it's anti-alias. See a little check mark. You don't want that check mark. And what that does is your edges are these jagged edges, whereas the anti-alias is uh is kind of blurry. You don't want that. We want the nice jagged edges. Uh, cheesy if it's bright sunlight. No. Uh, no. Uh, what I could do is kind of maybe do like it wouldn't be a dark uh like fog or mist like may have like daytime. So you know how when the sun hits fog and stuff during the day, it kind of blows it out and makes it almost white. Like I can maybe do something like that in here. So it would be bright. I don't think it'll be. I don't really want to do a really gloomy piece. Like it'll probably be fairly bright. Have a little bit of texture here, the clouds, and so uh yeah, I don't want to go gloomy because that seems kind of in my mind the antithesis of kind of Lady of the Lake. I'm kind of thinking very magical and bright and light, kind of like you're saying. So I mean, maybe not direct bright sunlight, but not. I don't want to go gloomy. So I think I'm pretty sure I can pull off foggy without being gloomy, and it'll help lend into. Yeah, yeah, that is a neat one, and I think that'll help lend into the kind of do nice. Uh, I'm pretty sure Austin knows, but maybe in for clarification, uh, do like along the lines of like Monet's water lily. So I mean, he's got a lot of color into it, but it's not just blue. So I think it looked pretty good. What I would probably what I'm thinking, since that's why we're here. We'll spitball this. This is cool. Uh, uh, you know, what I would probably do is like we're talking about, have it be real kind of light and uh airy behind her. So think she, for the most part, will be quote unquote dark without being dark. She's going to be kind of backlit. So her intense lighting will be kind of on her edges. You know, have that be printed. Then I'll render all in here and whatnot. Kind of just give her some shape, obviously. But what I can do, like you're saying, uh, well, no, but take artistic license because I was like, oh, I could have like a beam of light come in, but I don't think I'd do the beam of light. But I'll take artistic license where I can. So she'll be kind of shadow, but not super brightly lit. She's not going to be dark, but she's not going to be like heavenly light on her. And but I can have kind of that ethereal quality and have kind of a really bright uh Excalibur, so it'll just really kind of pop, and I'll probably like underlit her face a little bit, so she's being lit more from the sword, So her secondary light is basically coming from the sword, and her main lighting would be, you know, back here. I think that would look pretty ballin'. Just initial spitball idea. Uh, you know, as we go, it'll develop. So, kind of my initial thoughts. I sounds pretty cool in my head. I think at least, and what's in my mind's eye. It may be similar to what you're thinking, maybe not, but yeah, yeah. The sword would be glowing. Yeah, so she's really beautiful and lit real pretty, but the sword will also kind of take uh center stage in her strategically placed sword. You know, but especially with these guys being just penciled like this, I really just want to get my flat in on these, especially just because I can probably get really dark on here. These see how much of this I can cheat. You never know till you try. That's not too bad. So what I did there is you saw me draw that big selection. I then used my magic wand and switched over to my line art channel and just deselected the negative space to just honestly try and cut some time and work off this. So it won't be perfect, but it'll be good enough for government work, as they say. I don't know who says that. Somebody told me that one time, and I always thought that was kind of funny. also thought it spoke volumes about the people that are employed by our government, but that's another matter. See, there is a gap in the lines, but that's all right. I mean, still think it'll save me some time. I am trying to keep from. Sometimes I make sound effects when I color, just as I go. When I get into something, it happens. Makes me look mental, which is why I try not to do it on the stream. I caught myself like right there. I was about to make a sound effect. It's like, oh yeah, people are watching. Don't make a sound effect. So, but yeah, I sometimes when I really get into working on a project, I'll start making noise and stuff. And the best for all that was when you were doing like you know superpowers and junk like that, and you got the X-Men or Fantastic Four, and they're doing whatever they're doing, blowing up and saving cities and whatnot. Oftentimes get into sound effects doing that. Oops, good enough. But don't worry about that. Let's do these bigger ones, and I'll add in the other ones later, so we can get into a little more fun. I know laying flats isn't very fun to watch or to do, but it is in the long run super duper handy. Oh, and yeah, that's fine, buddy. Going back to the comments about spoiling the next issue of Sasquatch or even issue 4. Good news is I really worked awfully hard to make each issue of Sasquatch stand on its own. So each story. Now, issue 5 and 6 is a two-part story because honestly, it was just too big to fit in one issue, and it was initially like 3 issues, and I got it down to 2, and the second issue still like 30 pages. But I've made an awful big point to try and keep them fairly self-contained while also connecting together to tell a bigger, better story. Because honestly, I don't think that happens enough in comics anymore. I think it's kind of I don't know. Oh yeah, that dude's crazy fun. Uh, I wanted, man, there's so much I want to do with this series. I really hope I can continue for quite a while. Like it is, there's just a lot I really want to do. I want to do more with Crimson Ombre. Like I kind of like I've got a whole idea with the way the actual empire, how they get their rulers, like how Empress Dahlia became Empress Dahlia. Like I kind of created a oh, I think it's pretty unique uh method to their monarchy. You know, it's not wholly unique. It's semi rooted in Jo- uh what Jodorowsky's Meta Barons. Like there's some similarities there. It's kind of like the impetus for the origin of that idea. You know, it's not the same, but there's kind of where the seeds of the idea came from, and I want to get more into that. And yeah, there's the it's not an origin story, but there's more stuff with Crimson Ombre. Like there's the 4 pages that were gonna go into issue 3, but didn't end up making it because the errors with the credit cards kind of negating the the stretch goal. But it'll be in the collected edition. But yeah, there's more to do with him. I he kind of became more than I expected him to be. He was, and that's been a lot of them. Like a lot of these characters, like some of these characters were really throwaway characters, and they just naturally grew. So you know, like even Lieutenant Camden and Lieutenant Camden and Ensign Stin, like they both started as fairly throwaway characters, and he deserved it. That dude was a jerk. But yeah, it was well, and if you saw there was in issue 2, if you noticed, um, the dude Sasquatch is actually arm wrestling initially in the cantina bar. He's another one of the alien creatures like Fleeg, but he's huge. He's like the big bulky version, whereas Fleeg was like the nerdy side guy. That was kind of a little aside that I had Gabe do because I thought it would be fun. You know, I don't know if many people know because his proportions are so wildly different. I don't know that was readily obvious, but you know, it was kind of like, oh, Sass is beating the bodybuilder version of Fleeg. Yeah, there's it's one of those things where I truly I truly feel and believe that I could probably tell stories with Sasquatch for a long time to come because it's when I first set about creating what became Sasquatch, I wanted to specifically design a property that would allow me to do any kind of story. So if I wanted to do dinosaurs, I could do dinosaurs. If I wanted to do a romance story, I could do a romance story. If I wanted to do crazy action space opera, I could do that. If I wanted to do a western, I could do that. Just you know, and that was kind of the impetus for everything else. Is I just wanted to not put a limit on myself and just kind of be stuck because I know me. I like things. I get very intense on things, and I kind of run it into the ground, and then I'm done, and I may or may not come back to it. Uh, Whereas I figured if I could create a story like this, it would help keep me more grounded, more centered, and more like, hey, once I finish like the first story, I could do whatever. I could still tell more and be easily and not be like, well, I don't want to tell another airplane story like in regards to my other creator on title. I did Sky Sharks, which I had more ideas for Sky Sharks, but honestly, by the time I finished that run, I was so just my butt was so kicked. I definitely needed a break from it. Whereas, doing Sasquatch and stuff, it I don't have that same uh wear and tear, I guess. Granted, I'm pretty much at a much slower pace, which also helps, but it's also been living in my head and being part of me for so long now. I was actually afraid of just becoming bored with it just because I was with it for so long. And even though I am working on a couple different follow-up projects just to step away from Sasquatch for a little bit, I'm still thinking about the next volume and where to go and what to do with that. And I have ideas for it, and it's already kind of coming together in my head. Just let it keep chipping away in the back of my brain. And but yeah, I want to do a lot more, do more with Crimson Ombre, like you're saying, and maybe we'll go find out where Fleeg came from. Check out his world. Maybe he was the ruler of the world, and now everybody wants to come get Sasquatch. Who knows? Some righteous payback. I should hopefully be getting lettering for issue 4 any time now. It's my letter got a little bit behind due to school, like helping his kids with all the virtual learning and stuff, and just that's a new frontier we're all treading. So he's gotten a little bit behind, but he's almost done. I'm hoping he's got it wrapped up and we can get it to me and I can start doing see the lettering and find out what I need to rewrite. Still got the anti-alias off, but I'm gonna switch to my pencil tool to do some of this cleanup to zoom in. Try not to zoom in too much when I color, because that was honestly one of the things I struggled with so much when I was first starting is I would zoom in because you can just zoom in so close and then you're just working all these teeny tiny details that are never ever going to print. They'll never reproduce, and the being kind of a waste of time and energy. So I try not to zoom out. I will for like some of these flats just to try and make sure it's try this. But maybe what's it at now? Like last I saw, it was like 300 something k. Oh wow! Like I'm actually interested in the story. I'm really pretty interested in the story. I'd always figured I'd just eventually get the trade, but it's one of those things when when everything's just being so successful and hot like that, it kind of makes you want to go be part of it, you know? That herd mentality. Like, man, I want to go be part of that. That's awesome. And that's got Ron Garney doing the art on it. And I've colored quite a bit of Ron Garney art. Uh, Back when I was working with Guru Effects, he did a couple runs on Marvel comics that we colored. So I've done quite a bit of work of his. I've even got a an original sketch he drew for me at a convention. It's of the Rocketeer. Not my favorite Rocketeer, but still freaking cool. Because he gifted that his handler and him gifted that to me. Because I was working with them for them at the local convention that I used to work with, and like, oh man, you want a sketch? And it's just like, yeah, okay. Like, what do you want? I was like, whatever he wants to draw. I don't care. Like, nah, he doesn't do that. What do you want? I was like, I don't know, Rocketeer. He's like, cool, we got you. And then he did a Rocketeer for me. It's freaking cool, man. I greatly appreciated it. I'm not familiar with Fatal or Downcast. I'm pretty particular with the physical ones I back. Uh, I backed more of the a couple more of like the really unknown super indie stuff that I thought looked really good. I was like, man, that looks pretty cool. It sounds interesting. I'll check it out. And I ended up really not particularly caring for them, and that's happened a few times recently. And so I'm apt to more back digitally on those kind of levels, and then I'll support physically the either more the creators or people or companies that I know or have an existing kind of track record that I can follow and like kind of look into for myself a little bit. Yeah. There's always a lot of really cool projects out there, man. Like I've been a Kickstarter backer for a long time now. You know, probably 7 or 8 years, and then there's always some cool stuff. Yeah, Humble Bundles cool. That's how I've got most of my digital comics is from different Humble Bundles, whether it's Top Cow, couple Image different ones from Image, couple ones from Top Cow that had different stuff in them. Uh, Dynamite did one before, and Boys was in that. So I got that previously. I don't know if Boom's done it, but I think IDW. Like I've got just a ridiculous amount of digital comics from Humble Bundle, which is awesome. Like that's there's a lot of books in there that's like, oh man, I really wanted to read that, but I hadn't read it. I just wanted to check it out, but I couldn't justify going and buying a physical copy. One, because it costs more, and two, I didn't know if I was going to like it anyway. So I really like those Humble Bundles, and yeah, so Humble Bundle's been great, man. And actually, like a month or two ago, Humble Bundle did they did with like humanoids. So like they had a ton of Mobius stuff, which I only had a little bit of Mobius. I have like Final Ink out here, but Like, oh man, I've always wanted to check out more Mobius, and then also 2000 AD had one, and so it was a bunch of like Judge Dredd and stuff like that, which I got very little of that stuff. But more specifically, they had Ballad of Halo Jones, which the one time I had that in my possession, I didn't ever get around to reading it, and I always kind of regretted not reading it. And so I was like, well, now I got a digital copy of it, so that's good. Some of them you can from Comixology. Like there's a way that you can, not everything's available to download, but some of it is. Because some of the stuff I've got on Comixology, I've gone in and downloaded. Like they've got their I don't remember what they called it. Like uh, they had a specific term for it, but I forget. My brain doesn't work anymore. But some of them you can download as a PDF or CBZ or whatever. Yeah, I haven't actually read Lock and Key. My wife and I watched the Netflix show, and we both really enjoyed it. That was the one on Netflix, right, with the lock in the house. That was one thing they never told me before I had a kid, that like my memory would go away. I have so many like brain parts anymore. The show was fun, man. If that's the right one I'm thinking of, I really enjoyed it. My wife enjoyed it. It actually makes us want to, like, I want to read the comics. I knew of their existence, but I never got into them. Uh, not for any reason. Like, it wasn't like I was avoiding them or anything like that. But it was just one of those things where I just never got into it. And yeah, I'd actually really like to check out the books now, just because they're always different. Same with like Umbrella Academy. Like, I never read Umbrella Academy, but enjoyed the show, and I was like, man, I'm kind of interested in reading that. You know, I always thought it'd be an interesting to have a conversation with Gerard Way. He's working on a new volume. He was on the Cartoonist Kayfabe YouTube channel. Was interviewed there, and he's working on the next volume. But he's somebody I'd like to just like hang out with a little bit, to talk to, because it's really interesting to me that he had, such a wildly successful music career, and he's very much more interested in making comics. Like, I think that's awesome. I think he'd be an interesting cat to talk to, have a unique perspective. But if you haven't, check out Cartoonist Kayfabe, the YouTube channel. That's a great channel, man. They do some fantastic interviews, and yeah, they interviewed Gerard Way, and that was really interesting. They interviewed Mark Miller, which was really interesting. They do all kinds of folks, and it's been a lot of fun the last couple months. I kind of discovered it and gotten into it. All right, I think I'm just gonna call that done for the flats. I don't think I really need to get more into that. I can do like lily pads and stuff later. It's a weird tear. I'm not quite sure what that is, but Okay. So honestly, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do that and let's turn that off altogether. Everything's coming up Millhouse. I'm surprised I haven't watched more Simpsons on Disney Plus. That was like one of my big exciting factors that oh man, they got all that Simpsons. That's gonna be great. And I've barely even started it. Mhm. There's a Harley Quinn show? Man, I'm out of touch. I haven't gotten HBO Max. One, it's just another streaming service. I don't really have the extra money to pay for at the moment or the time to watch everything on there. And then uh, they still don't have a deal with like Roku. And in my office, I've got a Roku, and they don't have a they're not they're not working together. So it's like I'd either have to come move a game console into my office, which that wouldn't be smart at this time. Oh, the Harley show's animated? That's cool. I didn't know they did an animated one. Yeah, I knew they were doing Doom Patrol and they had the Teen Titans one. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what people are think. Like, did you see the Teen Titans one? Was that any good? The cartoon or the comic? But the only thing I heard about the Teen Titans one is that people didn't like the Batman costume in it, which okay, whatever. Doesn't tell me anything if the show was any good, but I didn't watch too much of the cartoon. And then they ended up doing the other version of the cartoon that was super like Powerpuff Girls looking, which that pretty much kept me from ever wanting to watch. So I've always heard great things about the Teen Titans cartoon, and just again one of those things that just never I never got to for any number of reasons. Yeah, yeah, maybe so. Like I watched the Justice League series, the Unlimited and whatnot, but I never did really catch any of the Teen Titans stuff. And then I eventually saw Young Justice. That was pretty good too. Nice. Well, hello, Mr. Chris Cox. How are you today, sir? It has been it has been a very long time. I understand about the surviving part. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, I didn't catch Young Justice as it aired. I caught it on Netflix. So yeah, it's been a while. That was the last time I went to Comic Con. That was a good while ago. I was I was done with Comic Con, and then now I want to go back. All right. Yeah, it's looking all right. Well, I'm glad you're surviving, sir. Y- Yeah, yes and no. I mean, that's kind of like comics. It's like, oh yeah, what do you having all comic friends and knowing what they're up to and not having any of it because comics are expensive. No, it would truthfully though, it's the comic books. Like, oh yeah, I'm making my new comic. Everybody just expects you to give it to them. I'm like, no, bro. Like, I'd love to give it to you, but if I gave it to everybody I wanted to give it to, I could never afford to make it. Oh, good times. It's hard supporting creative friends, especially when you start having several of them. I'm sure you know what I mean. I mean, good grief, you know everybody, and I appreciate your support, sir. Truly. But welcome. We're having a little bit of fun with the Lady of the Lake today. We're kind of just making it up as we go. Did they ever? They did release the last season of Young Justice, didn't they? Was that on Netflix? Did I see that? I might have saw that. I never know anymore. It's on DC's service. Yeah, then I didn't see it. I actually really like that DC gave you all those like access to the comics as well as the streaming service. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay. When's the next DC streaming event? Anybody know the Fandom Part 2 or whatever it is? Are they going to talk about comics that time in the new one? Hopefully, maybe if they're still in the comic business. Wouldn't be black. I guess it is a color. Oops. I guess it would help if I actually finished my flat. We actually finally had the contractors start work on our house today, trying to repair all the damage and stuff. It's been a fight to get them started, but they started today, which is great, but they had all left by before 2 p.m. And it's like literally one part of the job maybe needs 10, 15 minutes and it would be completely done, like finishing off our one of our bathrooms that they were working on. Like 10, 15 minutes, it'd be completely finished. And the dude that was working on that left before noon and never came back. And then the guys that were fixing the walls finished and left a little after 2, and nobody did any prep work for all the painting that needs to be done. Nobody moved any of the furniture that needs to be moved, which, I spent days packing and unhooking and doing everything we can get ready for them to be here. And I was like, man, I had a whole other day. Like we could have chilled out downstairs, but unhooked everything. And then they were all gone by noon or 2. What if I could, bro? If we had the money and my uncle had the money and somebody had the money to do that, that would be amaze balls. But that's not in the cards. It's just I'm trying not to be annoyed that everybody left so early because it seems like there's a large portion of the day left to work. When you take off, and then I figure like, oh, maybe they're going for a late lunch, but they never came back. I don't know if they have dudes that just do specific parts of the job and that's it. So they finished their part and they left, and I get a new group tomorrow. Like I don't know, but I was really hoping this would only take 2 days, especially after all the fiasco and everything the owner of the company was saying to me. Like I really thought we'd be done in 2 days, and at this rate, I think it's going to be 3 at least. His friends. Oh my goodness. Yikes. Maybe, Chris. I don't know. Like I don't know if you've seen my post where this has literally been since July we've been in this, and I actually got into a bit of a fight with the manager of the project and ended up having a very long conversation with the owner of the company who's just like, I'm going to do everything to make this right and do this and that and blah, blah, blah. I was like, sounds awesome. We're going to get this done real quick. And then it's just like, why is everybody checking out at 2? Oh, I try not to be annoyed, but you can tell I'm a little annoyed. Yeah, we are we are renting this place from my uncle. It's actually my uncle's place. He got another job in another city and moved away, and don't I couldn't they couldn't get it sold or something. I'm not quite sure. But basically they offered it to me to come move in, and it was going to be a massive, massive upgrade for me, like from where I was living. So I did that and been here a couple years, and so it's an older complex and in a bit of disrepair before I moved in, and just elements that old, worn out, not particularly maintained. So it's got some issues, and we're dealing with that apparently throughout all of 2020 on top of everything else. Yeah, I totally feel that, man. I totally feel that the time and energy dealing with them, and we actually like right at the very beginning of all this pandemic stuff, uh neighbors, like guys like catty corner from us in the complex, sold their condo, and another family bought it and were moving in. But before they moved in, they had a contractor come do work. I don't know what all they were doing, but this was their second site job or third site job. They wouldn't come start working until usually 4 p.m. or later, and they would, using power tools, saws and all this crap, like outside my daughter's window at 10:30 at night, and I'm going over there to pick a fight with them. They're like, "What are you guys doing?" And they did that a few nights in a row, and it was just like they're legally supposed to be done by like 6 or 6:30 or whatever, and they were going and like, "Oh yeah, the owner said we could do this or that," and it was like, well, he's not living here. I do. I don't care what he says. It's like if you're not gone in 20 minutes, I'm calling the cops. 'Cause they were keeping my baby awake. I didn't like it. That was the start of our pandemic in contractors, and now we have to deal with the contractors ourselves, which is not any better. In fact, I kind of like them over there. That way, I can threaten the cops on them at the very least. But we're in a good part of town, and well, thanks, Chris. We're a good part of town, good area. We still a massive upgrade from what I had, so you know, I'll take it. It's got issues, but we deal with them. I might play with that some more later. And I'm still in CS6, sir. I have not made the plunge on the Creative Cloud. Can't do it. Not yet. I still like sort of believing I'm no longer tethered to the internet, even though I'm completely chained to it. Probably would die without it. It's the lies I tell myself. Oh, I haven't saved. Always save your work, because apparently I haven't done that yet. Oof. Let's see here. Okay. Close. Okay. Like, I think this is one of those pieces that'll probably be a lot better that it's not inked and I'm just working on a pencil. I think that's gonna lend itself overall to the vibe and feel of this piece. Sometimes I get penciled pieces and I really wish they were inked, and this is one of those. I really I think the pencils really work really well. Oh, duh. That's right. I was gonna have that lit from the other way. Cast this big shadow right. Well, no, that'll work because I can actually. That'll that'll be all right. I'm not. I haven't totally botched it as I thought I had for a minute there. So go. Oh, like I mentioned before, I think go and do this kind of back lighting, rear lighting, and have her frontal features more illuminated by the epic magic sword. I think that'll be pretty pretty freaking cool. especially if I keep most of this cool, like have the rim light be pretty cool and kind of the base of her skin tone be pretty cool, but if I have the sword kind of a warm glowing tone and have the secondary kind of lighting her flesh also with a warm tone, I think that'll just sing and just pop because if I keep the overall piece fairly cool colors like it is, that'll just I think look pretty amazing. That or I'll totally screw it up. You know, we're gonna find out slowly but surely. Probably not all tonight, but definitely not all tonight. But we'll make a little bit of progress. I think just for a little proof of concept, I'm gonna just mock it up a little bit and just not fully commit, but just see what it actually looks. It's gonna be nice. Probably just shadow. Probably need to fix that flat. Oh, I think that's gonna look pretty cool in the end. Just as a cursory mock up here. In the immortal words of Hannibal, I love it when a plan comes together. Considering y'all flipped the script on me and I expected to be working on Star Wars, you know, I didn't really have any plans for this, but I'm kind of digging the whole concept and what's happening here. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a cool one. Real. Hey, shut up! I did it, not you. Did you guys get any rain over there, Austin? We got a freaking gully washer for about 30 minutes. We got quite a bit in just a short time. That's right before the stream. My mom called, and uh, they apparently got about an inch and a half in the 30 minutes it rained out at their house. Totally freaked my dog out being out there, all the thunder and stuff. Yeah, that's gonna be cool, man. I think this is gonna be a really nice piece at the end. You still there, Chris? You still hanging out? In and out. You're still out in California, right? You're not getting affected by any of the fires or anything, right? Ooh, 3D scan. You are getting affected by it? Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Really interesting. I can almost visualize that. Yeah, I imagine so. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You're not. It's not like in danger of coming into your neck of the woods and taking out where you live or anything, right? You're far enough from that part, I hope, at least. Yeah, no doubt. That would definitely keep you from going outside. Good. Well, I'm glad. There's just been there's been way too much bad news coming from everybody. I know, so I was like, I'm glad you're far enough away from it. That makes me happy. Ooh, man. Yeah. We started with Australia burning this year, and now it's California and Oregon. Are these things usually just from uh like brush fires that go awry, or like I've never been too privy to what actually causes most of the fire season. Oh, really? I didn't know about the Arctic. That's crazy. The world is literally on fire, both figuratively and literally. That's That's comforting. Makes you warms your heart. Smoke grenade for a gender reveal party. Yikes. Oh my goodness. That's bananas. Why? Just why? What is wrong with people? Oh my goodness, man. That's crazy. Yeah, I only even learned about the organ fires today, and a friend of mine posted on Facebook basically like where she used to live is now in the middle of flames. It's just like, oh my goodness. I knew there was ones in California, but I didn't know about that one. And now Arctic ones. Is it? I don't know. 9:30. All right, buddy. Thanks for coming, hanging out. I probably won't be on here much longer. I've been running since about 6 a.m. too. Pretty full tilt. I think the only pause was dinner. So, yeah, I'll probably wrap up here in a couple minutes. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate the suggestion for the Lady in the Lake. That wasn't actually what I expected. I figured everybody would just default to Star Wars. So it's been a fun change of pace, and I think it's going to be pretty cool in the end to go from having zero idea to pretty pretty working in progress piece. I'm happy with it. Still got a ways to go. That's all right. Maybe I'll be able to stream some tomorrow during the day too. I don't know. It all depends on, I guess, the contractors and what's going on. If I stay available for that, may or may not have the next page and freelance stuff come in. So I don't know if I can show that, so I probably won't. So, well, thank you, sir. Did y'all do a gender reveal party? I don't know. We didn't do anything like that. We, told people. It was much less effort and cost. Maybe we're just super duper lame and not cool like Smoke Grenade fella. Nice. All right, so at least I'm not the only lame individual. Oh my goodness. You like my foggy bushes, Austin? I like that brush a lot. I don't get a lot of use to use it, but I like it. Foggy bushes. Good stuff. Nice. I think we literally just like we're having a girl. So I don't know. Or maybe I don't remember, but yeah, Gene Ha actually gave me that brush whenever I was working on his book May. I think that's one he made, and he's like, "Hey, use this," or that's when I started using. Maybe I got it somewhere else. I want to say Gene gave it to me, but oh, that's when I started using it, and it was pretty freaking cool, and I really like it, and I don't often get to use it. Cool sponge. All right. Thanks for hanging out. I think I'm gonna go veg out for a little bit. Yeah, I like that's kind of my go-to. I like having red handles on swords. It's just kind of my thing. I don't know why. I don't know where it comes from. I'm sure there's probably some iconic red-handled sword out there that I'm not remembering that probably is the impetus, but I don't know, red and gold just seems to make sense to me. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you coming and hanging out and telling me more about the fires because lets me learn a little bit more. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Royalty vibe. All right, kids. Y'all have a good rest of the night, and we'll see y'all later. Appreciate y'all coming by.